These 10 mods are absolutely essential for you to have in your Minecraft world. Without them, it will be unplayable and it will just be way less fun. And as you know, Minecraft has some pretty bad performance issues, so we're going to go over some performance mods that should really help even the potatoest of PCs. But with that, let's get started. Actually, before we start, I would really like to ask you to subscribe, as that helps me out a ton. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of summer. But let's get going. These mods, I'm going to keep these settings exactly the same so you can see exactly how it changes the game. So right now I'm using Fabric API. This one really doesn't change much, but it is required for a lot of Fabric mods to run, so it's literally essential. You can't run mods without it usually. And you can see that with basically no mods, I'm getting 27 FPS, mid-20s FPS. And I have my render distance set to 32, simulation distance set to 20. So let's move on to the next mod and see how that changes things. Sodium, this is a very popular mod, so I would not be surprised if you've heard of it. And look how much better my FPS is right now. You can see it's in the top left of the screen. It is crazy how much better it is right now, but I can still really only do 32 chunks. And also, some of these mods might require other mods, like almost all, as I said earlier, require sodium, and some require additional mods just to run. So I'm not going to be including those in this video, but just as a heads up, if you use Modrinth, it will tell you what those mods are, which can make you a lot easier. And also, when you launch it, it'll give you an error saying what mod you need, so that would be really helpful too. So, yeah. So the next mod is called Ferrite Core, and it helps with memory usage. Since Minecraft can take up a heck of a lot of memory on a computer, this really helps minimize that. This is great if you have a Minecraft server running on your computer, or your main problem is running out of memory. So yeah, super useful mod if you're ever running out of memory on Minecraft, so highly recommend it. And let's go to the next one. This mod is entity culling, and now is a great time to remind you that all of the mods that I'm using in this video are all going to be linked in the description, so you should totally go check all of them out. And this is entity culling, so as you can see, I'm getting 26 FPS, 30 FPS when I'm looking at it. If I look away, you can see that my FPS goes up substantially. And now let's look at it when I turn off entity culling. The lag might not look that bad. Uh-oh. But you can see that the game is very, very, very broken. And if you saw earlier, that chicken was moving around just fine before I turned the mod off. So while it doesn't seem to be affecting my FPS too much, it seems to be greatly affecting my ping in single player somehow. This is Nvidium, and I am going to change my render distance to show you just how crazy this mod is. You can see I'm getting pretty high FPS with my render distance set to 150. I haven't even rendered in all the chunks that you could render in. This took me like 20 minutes to render in all the chunks, since it only renders them with a render distance of 32 max. This doesn't let you modify your simulation distance, so it can only generate with a simulation distance of 32. And let's watch a time lapse of me going over there to see how far it is. So we are currently at the X coordinate of 1200-ish, and let's see how far away the end of my render distance is. And here we are. This is about where it ended, and I'm at 3400, and you can see my FPS basically never dropped below 50, which is crazy, but let's move on. Dynamic FPS, this essentially just lets you have a better FPS if you tab out of Minecraft, since I know that sometimes you're tabbing out of Minecraft and you still have a lot of FPS problems, like it is laggy in any other applications. Dynamic FPS helps with that, so when you tab out, Minecraft kind of goes into like a sleep mode, and it really helps FPS if you tab out. Now we have this mod called Mod Menu. This lets you see any mod that you have and customize it. It is super helpful. This is how you customize a mod like Bobby, which lets you increase your render distance past the Java render distance. which is super cool. And let's move on to the next mod. Carpet mod, you probably recognize it for the iconic ability to do slash carpet. There's a ton of commands that you can do here, but there's movable block entities. Which can let you move them. Super cool. However, this does interfere with some farms that use tile entities to keep stuff in place. So you need to make sure those farms don't break if you ever use that. There is also one of my favorites, which is slash player. You can summon any player you want. And that's super cool, since you can do like freak out some of your friends. I don't know why he's wearing a freak cat skin. We should start a petition. Find whoever owns this skin. Make him change it back to the normal Hero Brian skin. You gotta. Whoever owns the skin, mate, you gotta do that. So good for trolling. And yeah, there's a ton more carpet commands out there. And then there's also like carpet extra mods where there's more commands, but I can't possibly go over all of them. So let's move on to the next mod. This mod is called Logical Zoom. It essentially just lets you zoom with a keybind. I'm pretty sure the default's C, but I set it to G since that's one I don't usually use. And it lets you zoom. Wow. You can also have it do this. And with my skin, that could potentially give you a seizure, so sorry about that if it did. Super cool mod. It lets you actually, if you combine this with a very low FOV, a spyglass, and this mod, you can zoom in so flippin' far. Like, we're like literally zoomed in on like one of those blocks, which is crazy. Here's one of those. Anyway, super cool mod. Let's move on to the last one. Okay, before I start talking about the last mod, I must issue a warning. This mod is banned on a lot of PvP servers, so I will give you a warning. Don't use it on servers like Hypixel, Minehut. I think that covers the really big ones. You have been warned, or your server with friends. The admin might ban you for it. You have been warned, but this last mod, you guessed it, is freecam. This mod is super helpful for designers of games, as I can go down here and look at how the farm's doing without interfering with the spawning mechanics. Or if my player needs to be somewhere specific for a farm to work, I can have that player be there. This player is rendering all the entities. However, I can see other stuff beyond what's being rendered. As you can see, if I go over here, there's literally no entities, and these chunks are not really rendered. So yeah, this is a super cool mod. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.